The world you see is not the world that exists. You wake, you open your eyes, color, noise, motion. It all feels real. But the senses are artists, clever, emotional, unreliable. Plato said what you call reality is a projection, a dream of light and shadow cast upon the cave wall of perception. And freedom, true freedom, begins when you realize that. This idea shattered ancient Greece and still unsettles the modern mind, because Plato was not describing a myth. He was describing you. Every human life begins in the cave of illusion. Picture it, a cavern deep below the surface, prisoners chained since birth so their heads cannot turn. Behind them, a fire. Between the fire and the prisoners, figures walk, carrying objects. Shadows dance across the stone before them. The prisoners name those shadows. They debate their patterns. They live and die believing the flicker is the world. For Plato, that story was not fiction. It was a diagnosis, a warning about the blindness of habit. The cave is human culture. The fire is imitation. The chains are assumption. And the shadows are everything you think you know. You are born seeing appearances and mistake them for essence. As children, we learn names, categories, rules. We memorize, conform, and repeat. Each label filters the infinite. It tells us what to ignore. By adulthood, we live behind a screen of symbols. We react to stories, not to things. Money replaces value. Status replaces worth. Belonging replaces love. We dwell in patterns projected by fear and desire until the day something cracks the wall. A loss, a question, a moment too strange to fit the pattern. The mind blinks and light leaks in. To see the falseness of appearances is terrifying. It means the world you trusted has betrayed you. It means your knowledge was camouflage over ignorance. But it is also the birth of philosophy, the moment you stop believing and start wondering. Plato called philosophy the turning of the soul, a revolution not of society, but of perception, because freedom cannot be granted. It must be seen. The first truth is painful because the eyes are not ready for light. In the story, one prisoner is freed. He turns. He sees the fire and screams. The glare wounds him. Shadows feel safer. He begs to return to darkness. To question the world is to destroy its anesthesia. To glimpse reality is to lose the comfort of the crowd. Every seeker suffers this vertigo, the mind tearing between fear and curiosity. But there is no path upward without that burn. Step by step, the freed prisoner crawls toward the cave's mouth. Each step is an act of insight, comparison, doubt, reflection, courage. He begins to see that shadows are cast by objects, objects illuminated by fire, fire fueled by something deeper. He begins to think rather than react. This ascent is not a journey through space. It is a journey through awareness. When the soul sees true light, it recognizes home. Outside the cave, the prisoner stands trembling. He looks at water and sees reflections. Then he looks higher, at trees, mountains, stars. Finally, he raises his eyes to the sun. It blinds him, then fills him with awe. That sun, said Plato, is the form of the good, the source of all truth, all order, all meaning. Everything you call real glows only because that good illuminates it. Without it, even knowledge is darkness. You are not the watcher of reality. You are part of its radiance. Most people never escape because the cave rewards conformity. When the freed man returns to tell the others, they laugh. They say his eyes were damaged by the journey. If he insists that sunlight exists, they threaten to kill him. That, Plato warns, is the fate of visionaries. The crowd defends illusion because illusion feels safe. Society prefers predictable prisoners to liberated misfits. The highest walls are built from comfort. Desire is the architect of illusion. It convinces you that more equals real. We chase reflections of fulfillment, success, pleasure, reputation. Each promise glitters like light on stone, but when grasped, it fades. Plato warned that appetite, left ungoverned, enslaves the soul. To escape illusion, reason must guide passion, the way a charioteer guides his horses. True freedom is not abundance. It is awareness. The fewer illusions you serve, the lighter you become. Escaping illusion begins with questioning what you believe. Ask, who taught me what success means? Who benefits from my fear? Why does comfort feel more plausible than truth? Every question pries another link from your chains. Philosophy is rebellion in slow motion, an uprising of consciousness against hypnosis. Only self-examination transforms ignorance into light. Truth cannot be given. It must be rediscovered within. No teacher, no religion, no science can hand you enlightenment. They can only point. The seeing must be yours. In Plato's thought, learning is remembrance. The soul already knows the truth. It forgot by gazing too long at matter. When you glimpse beauty and feel sudden belonging, you are remembering. The light awakens what never slept. Seeing truth transforms more than belief. It transforms being. The philosopher who has beheld the good cannot live as before. Shadows bore him. Opinion loses power. He becomes serene, detached, strangely alive. To see rightly is to live rightly. To perceive clearly is to love purely. Illusion cannot survive in the light of compassion. The modern cave glows with screens instead of fire. Today's shadows are high definition. Every scroll, click, and caption is a flicker on the wall. We sense something false beneath the glow, but cannot look away. The algorithm whispers, "Don't question, just enjoy." Plato would stare in horror and recognition. The mechanism of ignorance remains. To escape in this age means reclaiming attention. Attention is the soul's currency. Spend it wisely or lose yourself in spectacle. Whatever you attend becomes your world. Fix your gaze on fear, and you inhabit fear's universe. Attend to gratitude, and reality reshapes itself accordingly. When attention turns toward the good, truth organizes chaos. When attention stays on shadows, chaos masquerades as meaning. So guard your awareness as sacred space. Every focus is a prayer to delusion or to truth. The ego thrives in illusion because illusion keeps it alive. Ego is the prison guard whispering, "Don't look back." It tells you that you are your story, your body, your past. It defends the wall because outside its boundaries, it dissolves. To transcend ego is not to destroy identity, but to loosen its grip. See it as mask, not face, as tool, not master. The cage collapses when you stop gripping its bars. Plato never urged hatred of the material. He saw matter as reflection of meaning, not enemy of it. The wise person neither worships nor despises the world. They read it like scripture written in light. Sunshine on water, music in silence, kindness between strangers, each a shadow of the good. To live awake is to see eternity shimmering through impermanence. Then illusion becomes art, a divine performance through which truth plays. The path upward demands both clarity and character. Insight without integrity collapses back into deception. Every moment of honesty, patience, or courage reinforces awakening. The climb is ethical as much as intellectual. You cannot see clearly through a corrupt heart. The soul brightens through character. The cave dims through selfishness. For Plato, the highest love is not lust, but longing for the divine. When you love something rightly, you rise toward its essence. Beauty fascinates not because it pleases the body, but because it reminds the soul of perfection. Love is the ladder from shadow to sun. Each step is deeper seeing. To love truth is to become truth. At Delphi, the oracle's temple bore two words, know yourself. Plato believed that command was the seed of liberation. To know oneself is to remember the soul's origin in the divine. What you are is consciousness pretending to be limited. When you recall that, illusion cannot hold. You do not leap from darkness to sunlight. You adjust. Each realization enlarges the horizon. Ignorance falls in layers, false beliefs, false identities, false fears. Seeing through one veil invites discovery of another, subtler one. Awakening refines endlessly. Truth has depth without bottom. Every deeper light makes the previous seem dim. The climb never stops, because the soul loves the light that calls it higher. Plato taught that philosophy is preparation for dying, not in gloom, but in serenity. To die before you die is to awaken now. When the shadows of body and ego no longer define you, death loses authority. It cannot end what has already transcended. The freed soul sees continuity everywhere. In that vision, every ending glows as doorway. The awakened mind returns to the cave by choice, not by chains. After seeing sunlight, the philosopher descends again to help others. He moves through illusion awake, aware that appearance is theater. He wears the mask consciously, like an actor who remembers the script but never forgets the stage. This is enlightenment, not escape from life, but lucid participation in it. You live among shadows while anchored in light. The world becomes dream. But a dream, known as dream. That awareness is indestructible joy. We drown in data, but thirst for meaning. Knowledge without wisdom multiplies darkness. Ask what each piece of information serves. Does it lead the soul upward or chain it deeper into distraction? Wisdom sorts signals from shadows. Seeing clearly within overload is modern philosophy's true test. Once you glimpse reality beyond illusion, ordinary moments glow. Rain on glass, laughter, breath, everything radiates hidden elegance. You no longer chase meaning. You witness it everywhere. The world, when seen truly, is not false, but transparent. Through its shimmering veil, eternity smiles. Plato called this theoria, the contemplative vision of truth made visible. The end of seeking, the beginning of seeing. The final secret Plato left is paradoxical. You never truly leave the cave, because the cave itself is in your mind. When the mind transforms, even the cave shines. Shadows become lessons. Ignorance becomes contrast. Life becomes sacred play. The exit was never physical. It was attention purified. Freedom is not elsewhere. It is clarity here. Awakening is incomplete until you shine what you have seen. Each insight that frees you must translate into compassion that frees others. Plato's hero rises, sees the sun, descends, and becomes the bridge between ignorance and truth. We call such people teachers, artists, healers. They remind the sleeping that light exists. You are meant to be one of them. Your enlightenment is not escape, but service. The false world fades the moment you see through it, not away from it. Everything that frightened you becomes transparent. Every problem turns instructive. Reality stops being hostile. It becomes friendly, creative, intimate. The cave still stands, but its shadows now dance for beauty, not deceit. The mind still thinks, but its thoughts echo silence instead of noise. You are awake inside the dream. Escaping illusion is remembering that the light you seek is the one seeing. The journey ends where it began, with perception itself. All along, you looked outward for freedom, but the light outside and the light within are the same flame. Plato's sun and your consciousness share one essence. Nothing external imprisons you anymore. Ignorance was the only wall. The moment you know that, the cave collapses into dawn. You were never just watching the illusion, you were creating it. That revelation, once terrifying, becomes sacred. The universe dreams through you. Consciousness plays infinite roles for the joy of remembering itself. You, the liberator, the prisoner, the sun, all one awareness exploring itself through contrast. The mind bows. Silence blooms. Reality stands unveiled. Simple, radiant, complete. And in that clarity, a voice older than time whispers, "You were never trapped. You were dreaming of escape. To remember that you were free."